Welcome back to Off the Rack Rebellion, the podcast where we talk about costuming and how to take everyday finds and incorporate them into everyday cosplay. Today we have a guest, but first off, Kate, how you doing?
Hello, Billy. I'm doing well. How are you?
And our guest, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everyone where people can find you?
Well, hello everyone. My name is Eich Rau on Instagram, Eric Fisher in real life. I am one of the newer semi-helpful members of Burgundy Squadron, and I also run
Very
my
good.
own Discord called Denizens of the Rim. Um, yeah, last year we went ahead and made our first book for Denizens, and we're looking at doing another one this year that anyone can join in.
I have to get my photos for that. I'm
That
always
book
like the
was
last one, I swear.
incredible last year, and it's so cool. It feels really cool to see your friends in a book that looks like it would, it's like the art of Star Wars sort of books,
Right?
and very cool that we could do it all together. So it's cool that
Like our
you
yearbook,
guys
I
are
feel
doing it
like.
again. Yeah.
It is like
Yeah,
your book, that's for sure.
yeah.
I think once we hit 50 members in the squadron, I think we need to start thinking about maybe putting those first 50 and commemorating them
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. That would be
We're
fun.
close. We're very close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Hunters,
Woohoo!
which
Finally.
is a game. It's a sort of mobile but also platform game, right? It's on Xbox and PS5, is it? Or is it just on sort of more
It's only
mobile?
for the Nintendo Switch and also
Okay.
the iOS, so Apple and
Oh,
I
okay.
believe Android as well.
Gotcha.
Yes, I was playing it on my phone for a little bit when I didn't have like you know, my Switch around. My Switch for the longest time was my Animal Crossing machine, like that like that's
Oh,
all I played on there. So now it has gotten a second use, which is it's now my Star Wars Hunter machine.
nice.
Yeah, for all of those of us who can't get the newest Star Wars games, we've been having to go ahead and stay on the Star Wars Hunters list.
I've heard such good things. I'm not a gamer at all, but I've heard a lot of good things even about hunters, like for
Yeah.
so long too. Because when did that one come out?
Hunters is an interesting, interesting question because Hunters actually came out unofficially about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It
Okay.
was first released, I believe, in like Australia, New Zealand, India, and South America. And it wasn't until this past year that was actually released globally for
Oh.
use in the UK and the US.
Okay,
We were
gotcha.
one of the last ones to get it, which a lot of people were very frustrated about because
Okay.
the art from this game is just astounding. But
Right.
yeah, it was an interesting release.
Yeah. I
That
guess
would
I must have
definitely
seen the art.
yeah, that would definitely that would be the reason why there's like kids on there just melting me like when when I'm playing because they've been playing for 4 years and I'm still trying
Yeah.
to get like the buttons right.
Yeah, I know Billy, you and I have talked about on the Hunters chat about just trying to get a group of us both on the opposite team and on our team so that way we can
Yeah.
just spend the whole match just looking at the different art that they have hidden throughout the maps and whatnot.
Yeah, just let it time out so that we could just walk around instead of being afraid that we're gonna get, killed.
Like, oh look, my cape goes whoosh in the wind. Oh great, I'm dead again. Oh, gotta wait.
There is a lot of that happens. It is a really fun game, Kate, and you can get it on your phone, like, just to
Okay.
dip a toe in because it's a
Oh,
casual
it's
game.
so tempting now that you say that. Like, because
It's a
so many of our friends are like,
4v4.
"Oh, are you playing this? Are you playing that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm so sorry. I can barely play Mario Kart." You know what I mean? Like, my youngest is like, "Mom, you're what good are you? Like, really? Come on."
Oh, no.
I
All
mean, the
right.
good thing about the game is I think each match only lasts maybe 6 minutes at most, so for those people who are
Oh,
obsessed with playing video games, even at
okay.
work, it's like you just take a quick break for your lunch or whatnot. You can get like 2 or 3 matches in, and then you're done. You don't. It's not like League of Legends or
Oh, wow.
Overwatch or those other games where you literally have to sit down and commit like 10 to 10 minutes to 2 hours.
Wow. Okay, so, like, so in Hunters, you can play, like, these little short
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. Nice.
Yeah, it's really fun. And the good thing about it is that you can just download the app and it's free.
Okay.
And go in there and you can see all of the different costumes. We're only going to cover
Oh,
I think 3 characters. I did leave off Sentinel cuz he's sort of a trooper character and I just thought like, oh, well, okay, so that's just different iterations and
okay.
rankings and types of troopers, but some of the ones
Yeah.
that we're looking at are actually really creative. Like not only in their base looks, but also in the inspirations that they take from other characters. I think it's
Yes,
pretty
well,
cool.
I think that's one of the greatest things about this game is it's actually um, divin, di let's see if I can talk English for a moment. Actually dives into a lot of the, Star Wars lore before the Disney acquisition, and
Okay.
even some of the comic books too, so
Oh,
this is
Yeah.
kind of like the one media that we have that's actually integrated all other medias into it.
nice. That's really cool.
That's why I thought you might
I know.
like it, Kate, because
I
there's
was about to
some
say,
there's some
now I've
references in
gotta.
there that I think you'll really be
Okay.
into.
'Cause I like the old school stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
come on,
yeah.
like, I want those old pulpy novels that, like
It's really playful, it's really
Okay.
playful with what they did. They took it seriously in building a fun and good game, um, and giving every character their sort of unique look, but also kept it really kinda playful, which I think is cool. It's another,
Nice.
another reference point, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how should we go about this?
I would
There
say
is
let's let the host decide which of the 3 characters intrigues them the most, and we'll go from there.
Well, how about I pick? Because I have no idea who they are. Like,
exactly.
toss
Go
out
for it.
the options. Tell me what they are.
Okay, so you have the doc open, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 3 characters there, and you're gonna have to help me with the names because 'cause I'm blanking now because I'm all about outlaws and I forgot everyone's name.
Hey, that's
Imara
okay.
Vex.
Okay.
Imara Vex. There is also what's her name?
Zaina is the rebel spy, and then we
Mhm.
have Diego as the what I like to call the Lando Western,
Oh,
just
wow.
Yeah,
because
he's
of
kind of like a
all of his
gunslinger.
looks.
Okay. Wow. Okay, well, let's start with the Lando Western. Like, that's
Okay.
because I like that mashup.
So
So,
he's near the bottom, yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So,
He's the
just a
man.
Oh, I see
the
I see
only
why you're
man
saying
in the
this because
group.
there's a cape. Oh my gosh.
So he has a lot of dusters and whatnot. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of background. And what's cool about this game is that each character has a different lore that actually puts them seamlessly into the Star Wars realm. This guy was actually a nerf herder, oddly
Mm.
enough, that decided to just kind of like one of those people that you would see at the rodeos or at like the little county fairs that just is really good with sharpshooting. And apparently, he now is in this arena making extra money for his family and whatnot. But as you can see, his style, oh my gosh, his style is definitely one of
Yeah.
those of I really want to recreate this.
Very cool. So I am seeing a lot because we have a little doc that the guys put together. I'm seeing a lot of characters. How many characters in this bottom doc are him? Like, I see costume changes.
There's
Like,
only
is this
3 characters in
okay?
this
So a
doc.
lot of these are him. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Okay.
his are near the bottom. He's the
Yeah.
only
Okay.
man.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Well, that's easy. This is a
yeah.
lot of looks for one person. Holy schmoly.
Well, you
Well,
unlock all of these, like,
Okay.
skins,
Okay.
throughout playing and ranking up your character and stuff. But like I was saying, you can
Yeah.
download the game and essentially go to each character's like little page or something if you
Mhm.
wanted to like customize him or whatever, change his gun and
Mhm.
changes like emotes or something. And you can just
Mhm.
scroll through all of the available. They won't be unlocked for you, but you can
Mhm.
at the very least like see all of
You
them, which
could
I
see
think is
them.
pretty
Yeah, they're
cool.
all viewable, which has been
Yeah.
Wow.
a big blessing because I
Yeah.
I cannot shell out that much money in order to have
Yeah.
all the costumes.
Oh no way.
Right? This is a kind of a cool idea for like a costume inspiration too. Just kind of going in and seeing different ways that one because we were talking about like, same character, different looks.
Hmm.
Like, how is this character wearing different silhouettes? That's cool.
Yeah, especially last week since you guys were talking about different looks and whatnot, and Billy, you having like your one character has 5 different looks. I mean, you're probably loving this game and seeing all the different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I that was the big draw for me, I think. Yeah. And I think I tend to play the characters because I want to unlock other outfits more so than like wanting to get good in the game. Like
Same
what I
here.
want to do the most in
It's
the
the
game.
real incentive.
Is just like be able to play with the game. There's a character named Imaravex, which was my main for a long time, and
Okay.
that's one of the like starter characters. It's kind of like one of
Okay.
the easier characters to play with. They're really high powered and stuff. Anyway, they have this one look where she's not wearing her helmet and she has it hanging off her backpack on the back, and I literally just want it so that I can run around and see the helmet bouncing around. I don't know. I'm now like
Really?
trying to figure out a way where I could do that. How do you hang a helmet like safely
Yeah.
from the back of your pack or something,
You'd have to
you know?
really
Yeah.
trust it, right? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that point, for us customers, it kind of brings into question, do you want the helmet to be worn or do you want it just as a prop?
mm,
Because if it's a
Mhm.
prop, I mean, you can probably make it so that way if it gets dented, no big deal, who cares? Or make it
Yeah.
out of like foam board or
Foam.
whatnot.
yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
But
That's
then
what I
if you
need to
want the seamless, oh, I can take it off the hook and put it on at a con or whatnot, then it comes into the practicality of, ooh, do I really want to get this dented? And ugh.
Yeah.
do. Yeah. And I'm sorry. I know this is gonna be like overwhelming for you, Kate, because I
Oh, no.
it is like
I'm, like, going through and,
2
like, zooming in and
images.
going like, "Oh, this hat, this guy." I'm getting
Yeah.
a little, do you remember I don't even know if he's a character anymore in professional wrestling, but Wild Man Randy Savage, was that a guy's name in, like, professional
Oh,
wrestling? I'm getting
Macho
little
Man.
vibes
Yeah,
Macho
yeah,
he's
I'm
Man
getting
Randy
a little
yeah.
Savage.
vibes of that, of some of these
Oh,
looks. Like, this one with, like, the long white duster, but the hat and the white boots, like, I'm
yep.
getting, like
Uh, yeah,
getting some WWE vibes going
yeah.
on with this one character.
Some of them are a little out there, but
Yeah.
I think it's like it's trying to follow his like signature, which is like these long dusters, but then
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
injecting some kind of reference
Okay.
to, and if you scroll through them, you'll see like the very last look that we're looking at is like
The Elvis?
Oh, yes, Elvis Presley.
no, is that no. Not that
I was
one. The
thinking
one
like
right
a
before
white
it.
oh,
It
okay,
is
Oh,
okay, okay.
the
Elvis.
Krennic?
The Krennic, that's like an
Oh,
Officer
yeah.
Krennic one, just above
It
it, it's
is,
the other
Oh,
white
yeah.
yeah.
one.
Yep, I see that.
And I
So
mean,
is he ex-Empire?
no, he's
No, it's the
actually
yeah.
not.
Oh.
His character profile is not. It even has like, and the fun thing is, if you look at the costumes, they each have a little description.
Oh.
And in this description, he says like, "Yeah, I could never be a part of the Empire, but I do love Krennic's outfit." That's actually what he says.
But I would raid the closet. That's, a
Oh
different
yeah,
Oh,
story.
I 100% would. Oh, yeah.
I like the one that's right next to that in the dock. It's almost feeling like ancient Rome. He kinda has
Yeah.
this right? Like, it almost looks like armor, like leather armor with, like a skirt attachment or kind of a little a little Japanese too, right? Like a
It
little.
looks Roman to me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
looks very Roman,
So,
Yeah,
and the cape
yeah,
and
and the
everything.
cape,
Like,
oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, it feels very gladiator, yeah.
To
hmm
go
yeah,
Interesting.
into the Star Wars realm, I believe this one they label it as the most Espa security, though I have to say it almost feels like Naboo.
Yeah,
that
mhm.
does feel like
'Cause
Naboo
it's
to
just a little
me.
more opulent, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's got
Hmm
that gold trim, mhm.
and it has like that nice soft brownish burgundy look to it, and
Yes.
then the
Oh,
green
yeah.
accents.
'Cause they had those really gorgeous vests, right? Those,
hmm
like, that were that burgundy leather, I love those.
And I mean, later on when we talk about Zaina the Rebel, she
hmm
actually has an outfit that's the Naboo pilot from Episode One.
Oh, cool.
So if you like compare those side by side, they're very much almost blend together.
That's really cool how they've done that because we talked about, like, how do you give these little nods to, like, what planet you're from, like, that your character's from, and how do you and clearly they've done that, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's not the exact look, but it's enough for us to be like, "Oh, that makes me think of."
And I mean, the
Yeah, I like
detail's
that.
amazing. If you go up to the top of Diego's character, the first picture is his solo, oh gosh, mud trooper or
The
mud trooper officer. And
Mimban
if you look
trooper.
at
Oh, yeah. In the
the
green, right?
boots, he actually has dirt and mud on the boots. So they've actually
hmm
went in and done very much detail-oriented work with
Wow.
these characters.
Wow.
Plus, I
Yeah,
just
that's so
love that
cool.
duster with the fur on it.
Yeah, with the brown collar right there.
Oh, so
Yeah,
nice.
that is nice.
If I had an unlimited budget, that
Uh-huh,
costume would be one
uh-huh.
I would be making.
Feel like if you found an old, um, trench coat that was a fabric you could dye and hack it up, you could make this happen. Like, I
yeah.
don't think it'd be that hard.
Either that or like a military surplus.
Yeah, like a
Just
long.
an
Yeah.
officer's outfit, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah, very cool. Yeah, and you can find I feel like for fur, there's a million faux fur things that are, like, discarded women's clothing you can cut up, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's so much you can find. I am kicking myself, my late uncle had given my grandmother a long time ago, like, I was a tiny, tiny kid, maybe not even born, a bear fur coat, I believe it
Whoa.
was.
Wow.
Bear, beaver, something, and she was a farmer's wife, and she never wore it, she kept it in the closet, but my brothers and I would bust it out, and, like, all 3 of us would get into it and, like, pretend we were a monster, right? And,
Ah.
like and everyone's like,
Nice.
"Never let your uncles see this," you know what I mean? But there's, like,
Okay.
photos of us in it, and then when she passed away, my aunt asked if I wanted it, and my mom was like, I don't know how you get it out there. It's so heavy, shipping would be too much. And so I
Right.
was like, yeah, no, I'll pass. And like, it was a couple years ago and I kicked myself because I was like, oh, that would have been cool. Like I
It would
could have
have.
done some stuff. Ugh. But yeah, I feel like you can find like women's fashion stuff on secondhand sites that are faux fur. So that's a nice touch. I like that. I also love his this double-breasted because it's kinda giving because it's right below that in the document, kinda
Yeah.
like that teal shirt and those reddish pants. Like,
It
I
definitely
like
Oh
gives
those
it
yeah, yeah,
more of
yeah.
like a farmer look to it,
Yeah,
which is really
yeah.
nice.
I love those colors together too, like, that's really and he has spats. Look at these
hmm
or if you wanna call them spats or if you wanna call them gaiters, right? Like,
hmm
if you're hiking, like, I
Yeah.
like those. I need to incorporate, I feel like, some.
It looks like a 1940s like pilot as well. Like someone that's gonna like
Yeah.
try to like
A little,
circumvent the globe.
little Rocketeer vibe
Yeah, a
too,
bit.
Yeah,
right?
it does
Like,
give a
yeah.
Rocketeer vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I do love that, especially the late because they, like, have a little lacing on the side of those gaiters. Yeah.
Something interesting about this character too, because the photo right next to that, it's a little bit more formal attire, still
Mhm.
has that like gunslinger farmer look,
Mhm.
but almost is kind of like a oh gosh, kind of like from Mando season one when we have the marshal and we
Yeah.
have the little town that's oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name that the guy runs.
Cobb Vanth?
Yeah,
Is
Cobb
that
not
Vanth or the
is that
town? Mos Espa?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, Cobb Vanth. That's season 2 actually. But
Oh,
kind of like how the
awesome.
character almost looks older, even with just his hair back. It
Yeah.
almost looks like a completely different person.
Right.
Mhm. But again, that's what we were talking about, like the different eras of your character, right? Like this could
Yeah.
be like, oh, it's supposed to be 10 years after, earlier earlier looks or something like that. And he's had certain things in his life that have impacted his fashion choices, right? Like I think that's awesome. I do love that vest he's wearing too. Like the double breasted, but it's
Yeah.
long. Is that a hood or just a really big collar? This is just a really
I
big
think it's a
collar.
really big collar because you can see the back.
Yeah.
There's a hood. It's
Yeah.
also like
Mhm.
asymmetrical too. If the one side
Mhm.
is shorter than the other, and like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very odd actually.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's gotta
um,
show off what is it strapped to his hip there on that one side, that kinda, like, disc, it's gotta show that off, so
So it looks like a cantina in the game. It actually functions as a landmine,
Oh,
oddly enough.
a big landmine, wow.
Yeah.
oh
Gotcha.
yeah, that is one of his things. I always forget to throw that down.
Yeah, it's like you always have that one person that sneaks up behind you, and I've played
Uh,
against this character so often now that someone really skilled in it, they place the landmine right behind them. It's like you come, and I usually play as the Trandoshan, so I have a big shotgun, but I have to get in close,
oh
and I just
right.
usually get blown to
Gotcha.
smithereens.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
god.
really yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's a whole other really fun thing is that all the different characters, depending on their size, depending on their species, and depending on their like weapon loadout, they all sort of play differently. So there are some like this guy who's a sharpshooter that kind of you'll always find him like up high somewhere and trying to
Uh,
pick off people from a distance. And then you've got other characters like there's this giant Wookiee um, in it who has a Ferrex look, which is
Oh,
incredible.
yes.
I should have pulled
oh.
that and included it, but I'll send it to you anyway. It's a full on. I mean, he looks. I think he looks like the timekeeper guy, sort of a
Yeah,
Oh.
little
that
bit.
that was because his hammers are the timekeeper
That's
hammers.
Oh my
right.
gosh, okay.
That's
I
right. That's
remember when
right.
that first came out, you and I were just, like, fangirling over that. It's
I
like, "Holy
know.
crap, we have
I
something
can't
from
even play
Andor."
that character. Like it's like I just don't get it. But I don't get the play style. But I was like I have to have it. But anyway, it's really fun. They do really fun things with the skins and all the different
They do.
costumes and outfits.
This is really so
Um
who's right above him? Who is this
that's
character?
Zaina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zaina?
I think unless someone comes up and pronounces it the correct way, I'm assuming Zaina?
Zaina, I think so. It kind of looks like Dana, but Zaina with a Z.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite like outfit set, and you'll very quickly see like she's just rebel through and through. There's a lot of different like inspirations. There's one in particular that I am like, it's I think the only reason why I'm still playing this game is
Oh,
to get this outfit, and
okay.
it's.
Alright.
And okay, so
Should I
she has
guess which one it is that you're like
oh, if you want to,
currently
if you want to try.
alright, let me scroll through here. This first one that we're looking at just above our last character, I like that big white cowl she's got going on there.
So,
And that's supposed to
actually,
be
this is where we start to get
Padme.
into a lot of the lore, because this
Okay.
one is actually an inspiration, I believe, from, um, Amidala.
Yeah, I was gonna
Mhm.
From
say
episodes 1 through 3, but more specifically, the 2003 Clone Wars
Oh,
and
yeah.
episode
Mhm.
2, before she enters the arena.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I was like, "Oh, white." It's very the one next to it reminds me of the TV show Arcane, actually. So, like, get this,
Oh,
like, blue
the blue
uniform.
Bespin outfit?
Yeah, it's just reminding me of, the officers in that show.
Yeah, that one
Okay.
is a take from episode, 5 when, you have Lando's, Bespin guards, actually.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Definitely more stylized with a lot more detail to it, but still of the same realm.
Oh, alright, I'm trying to differentiate. Okay, I found like the edge of this character and the next character. Man, Billy, there are a lot of really good rebel looks here. Like
I
I'm not
know.
sure.
So this
Oh my
very
god.
next one, this tan one, like tan and brown all the way up and down with the little backpack,
I was about to
that's my
say, is
favorite.
that the one that you're looking at? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got kinda like that, like, a double-breasted white shirt under or, like, cream-colored shirt under it. Is that the
Yep.
right one? Yep. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
Classic Rebel. And I forget what this one, I don't know, Eric, if you remember, there's 2 very similar ones, and there's this one and there's another one, but I think they're both like spy looks, right? Because she's supposed to be like a
Yeah.
rebel spy. Also, that's why I love her, you know what
So
I mean?
I think this character's background story is she definitely fought through the Battle of Yavin and Endor as well. Again, this game actually takes place after the fall of the Empire. So, from the book series, the Battle of Jakku, when the Empire is completely wiped out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she's making some money on the side, but she's also acting as an actual spy in this arena because we have Sith and Imperial sympathizers, and she's kind
Mhm.
of keeping an eye, making sure they're not trying to bring back the Empire and whatnot. So we actually have a person dressing as a spy who, oddly enough, is a spy in the game.
Okay.
We found our cartoon Burgundy Squadron member.
Yeah, I
Um
feel like I feel like we should assign her a number.
Well, especially, I believe her first look, if we're going from top to bottom, her first look, I mean, that's almost the embodiment of the burgundy look. The
Is it like
brown
the one
vest
with
with
the
the yeah,
burgundy shirt?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually. I'd
yeah,
wear all that for sure.
for sure. No, but yeah, that tan all the way up and down, I just love it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it reminds me of so many people. I could see um, Cinta in something like this.
Yeah.
I could
Right.
see,
yeah,
Bix, Colleen, it's giving a little bit of
Uh-huh.
Bix, Colleen.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah.
This blue vest kind of below that burgundy shirt one reminds me a little bit about the folks on at Galaxy's Edge, right? Like on
yeah,
that too. Like it's like because they have that.
Yeah,
It's not
in the
quite the
rebel
same
area.
teal, but
and that's her main look.
yeah. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
That
gotcha.
that's
is
her,
her
like,
main look.
main look. That's her starter look, yeah.
Oh, I like the green vest right next to it because you know what? I feel like this Kelly green is
Yeah.
a color we don't see much in Star Wars. Like,
Mhm.
That is true.
yeah.
Now, for
I
me being
mean
a military buff, it's the look down below next to the
mhm.
episode 1 pilot, the Endor
Oh yeah.
Rebel. I mean,
Yeah.
all
Oh, so
those magazine pockets and whatnot.
Yeah.
This is something that you can almost recreate completely just by going to a military surplus.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and it's got the classic donut helmet, the Endor helmet, like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
love it.
and all the
Yeah.
pockets, so many pockets.
Oh, so many
So you see,
buckets.
that's why. Oh, and, next one after that, if you just scroll down, there's the one that's sort of inspired by Hera, which I think is
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
great
was
as
trying to
well,
place
the
that.
yellow
Yeah.
pants, yeah.
Well, actually, Billy, I would say this is
Mm.
inspired not only by Hera, but also by Omega when we see her older in the season finale.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Mhm.
right.
Yep. Yeah, that shirt.
That's a good call.
And like the hairstyle as well. I mean, Omega never dyes her hair, but it's almost like if Omega were to dye her hair and have an
Mhm.
outfit, this would be
Yeah.
one of those for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, also, like, really just a really cool detail is that she has robotic legs, and I just think that's cool.
She's
Yeah.
got the one right above. Oh yeah. These prosthetics are very neat. The one right above the yellow pants, her backpack has is that why am I the logo of why am I blanking on so many names today? Is that the royal is
That's
it
the
royal
royal
of
crest for Naboo.
Naboo? That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, if you guys don't mind going briefly back to Diego,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
notice for him, he sometimes sports the imperial crest, but
Uh-huh.
On the back of his shirt, he's like has all these different kinds of logos, almost
Mhm.
as though he's being
Yeah.
sponsored by different people for the games,
Oh.
almost kind of like NASCAR and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, 'cause I see.
And the game itself does
That's
set
really
up
cool.
that, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, that sort of scene is that this is a competitive sport that people watch,
Okay.
um, and it's these 4-on-4 teams, fighting to either capture, uh, points on the map or pick up an item and try to hold on to it for as long as possible until you get, like, maximum score. So this is
Yeah.
a within the game, it's sort of set up um, as if this is like the Friday night sporting event
Okay, okay.
in
Yeah.
universe,
So
which
it
I think
is WWE is what you're saying.
sort of. It's
It's
more like sort of gladiatorial, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's
But
like
the
WWE with the sponsorship of NASCAR
yeah.
or things like that. Because when you're in the game, like some of the stickers and some of the skins and whatnot, they actually have in Arabish logos and sponsorships for
Okay.
like Blue Milk or Watto's Junkyard
Yeah.
or things like that. And it's the detail to this. It's like someone actually gave a Star Wars fan who's really good at coding and whatnot and said, "Here, I want you to put your favorite things in here, and we'll put them in."
As many
Yeah.
details as you can.
Oh,
Love
it's
it.
just amazing.
So I've just scrolled to the next character I'm
Imara
assuming.
Vex.
So the one that's next to the burgundy shirt, with this green helmet and the gray jumpsuit, that's Cobra from G.I. Joe, isn't it?
Ah,
Yes, that is Cobra. That is.
I'm an 80s kid. Like, I
that
recognize
is.
that.
Oh, I'm never gonna be
It's
able to
really
unsee that
cool.
now. No, you're
Sorry.
absolutely right.
But
It's really cool looking. Like, but it's
again,
got a Star Wars filter on it. I love that.
it
She's a
does.
she's a bounty hunter,
Okay.
and the helmet is very reminiscent of, like, the Haxian brood from, like, many of the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order games. It's a very unique helmet, and I like seeing, like, other bounty hunters
Yeah.
that aren't
Yeah.
Mandalorians that all have,
Yeah, right?
similar buckets. I like these that they're different. Also, within all the different looks of the character, her helmet changes,
Okay.
which I think is really
That's
cool.
right.
This is kind of like, I guess, the if somebody said you have to play this next match and you have to be good, noob, I would pick Imhara Vex.
Okay.
Like, because
I'm
it's the
taking
only
notes.
one where, like, I know all the buttons and, like, I kind of know how to, like, handle her, like,
Okay.
control
Yeah.
all of her buttons, like
Oh
all
my
of her
gosh.
weapons and stuff.
The next look, she's got, like, 2 vests on and some knee pads and some wraps about her boots and, like, a rocket
That's the
launcher on
one
her
with the
wrist
helmets
and
on her
yeah,
backpack,
the helmet on
That's
right?
her
the one with
back,
the heaven
a
on the back.
cowl with a stripe with, like, a bunch of weathering. This is a really cool look.
That's my
What
favorite.
is she wearing on her eyes? Is this sunglasses? Is this,
I'm
like
thinking Star Trek.
yeah, it looks a little Star Trek, but, like, we don't see much eyewear in Star Wars, and I'm
No,
always it's like
no.
I
hats and
think
eyewear, I
it's
get really
I
excited.
think it's targeting, the same that would
Mm,
be on her
mhm.
heads-up display in her
Okay,
helmet,
okay.
um,
Yeah, yeah.
but she's not
So
wearing her helmet, so she's
Yeah,
just wearing, like, that bit of it.
which I never
so
thought
the
about.
design of it almost looks like going to the Dave Filoni Star Wars Clone Wars for like Rex and some of the elites clone
Mhm,
troopers. They have the little visor that falls down, so it
Yeah,
almost
mhm,
looks like that without the actual helmet, which we usually don't see.
mhm.
yeah, right? I think that's really an interesting and one of our friends who's listening to this should start printing these. I think this is really cool.
I like the idea that you can maybe because I think that the helmet is slightly different as well. I don't think it has you can't really see it really,
Yeah.
and I don't have the skin, so I haven't been able to sort of twirl her around while getting
One on the
shot at.
back of the
Oh,
pack, you
we'll get
mean?
Um,
really close.
but I think it might not have. Oh, I should look at the victory pose. Um, I'm not sure, but I think it might not have the lower half. So I think it's just almost like the top half helmet,
Oh.
and then the goggles
Huh. Okay.
like
I think it at
stay
least
on.
has the mouthpiece to it, but I
There
don't think
is
it has
something
the
Okay.
wraparound
gray.
that the
Yeah.
other helmets do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's really
this
interesting.
character is always interesting to me because this is where you get even more of the like deep dive into lore. If you
Hmm.
go up to towards the top of the outfits, you have three of them that very much go into details. There's a reference to oh gosh, I'm apologize if I butchered this. Ralph McQuarrie,
Yeah,
or
you got it.
that if you look at it's the white helmet with kind of like the very almost like purpley peach vest. The helmet is very reminiscent of the original Boba Fett
Oh.
concept, and the
Oh.
backpack is very much is almost the exact same as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then going from there, you have one of
Oh, that's
my favorite
cool.
bounty hunter characters in all of Star Wars lore, Dirge, which is the gray with the blue neck piece and kind of like
Hmm.
the almost gladiatorial helmet. He he's one we only see in
Oh,
Star Wars Clone Wars from 2003, that short cartoon version that's the Samurai Jack
Hmm.
animation,
okay.
and in the comics. We never see him in anything else, and we get very little references to him.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this finally canonizes him in the Star Wars lore because this character is just such a badass.
I'm
Oh,
trying to like
wow.
squint and look at the one right next to it too. I love that
I was
helmet.
yeah, I scrolled that too.
The big like
Yeah.
rectangular. Oh, what did I do?
Oh, did you
Uh-oh.
do it or did I do it? Because it suddenly
I think you
disappeared.
did it.
Oh no! I was just zooming in.
There
Shoot.
we
Oh,
go. There
good.
we go. There we go.
Don't let me touch things.
And I think
Okay.
I'll share out the link. I've also set this up so that it's just like the character sheets that we're looking at, and I think I'll link it and make it available to everyone listening
Nice.
if you want to follow along. We somehow started from the bottom up, so just
Yeah.
deal with it. Like I think it somehow
Gotta be a
is
little different.
easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also have all these images as well on the
on the
Denizens of the
Discord.
Rim Discord for
Perfect.
not only just for viewing for this podcast, but also anyone who needs references to build these costumes too,
Yeah, you'll
who
get
may
a
not want
bigger
to
file
download.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you do, I want to see them. These pants on this one, you were just talking about that helmet, the last one. Those, I mean, they're like heavily like quilted and ribbed, and they look
Oh
very
yeah.
Mhm.
space pants. Like those are
Yeah.
cool details. I love that.
Um, if any of you
There's
have
just
ever played Dead Space, that look kind of gives me that
oh,
reminiscence idea,
Gotcha.
kind of
yeah,
like
they're
the
just
almost like horror space.
there's so
So
many
let's
details
talk
also that
about
you can pull from. Like you
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to like recreate
right.
the whole thing. You can
Yeah.
get like, oh, inspiration from this set of
Uh-huh.
pants from this character, and maybe this like I don't know, Pat or something from this other character. It's just very rich. It's a good like place to, find ideas.
Yeah.
So down one row and over on the left-hand side, what is this creature from the Black Lagoon look going on? Like what? Like who is that inspired by? What is happening? Because even like
So
her
Yeah.
shin guards are like they look very
epis
amphibian.
episode 3. Remember when Obi-Wan gets that beautiful, gorgeous, like lizard bird that he's running on?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
That's, I
Okay.
believe, because they actually make a reference to the creature name, and I believe it's that same creature, but
Okay.
instead of her like, instead of being one that like rides a creature, she actually hunted one.
Okay. And then she kind of like made her armor like
Yeah.
from the skins. Like, gotcha. Okay. Because I was like, wow, that is. It's just not something you see all the time in Star Wars. I was like, like
Hmm.
this color, green. Like,
Hmm.
I love it. It's like very minty, very interesting.
But it's still pleasing to the eyes. It doesn't like
Yeah.
you look at it, it's like, oh, maybe not the
Yeah.
right choice. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, and I love the dash of the red. There's like a red logo, some red on the helmet, something on the back of the helmet. Like
Hmm.
I like that color
Yeah.
scheme of like a minty green with like a red, like a pure red. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really yeah. It's they've done great, and this is And mind you, these are 3 characters of about how many? 12?
Oh,
Uh,
geez.
Actually, it's going to be 13 when the new season drops
Right.
because we're getting an Ewok in a mini ATST.
Oh my
Oh, that's gonna
gosh.
be awesome.
I love me
So
the Ewok.
there's also aliens in the game. There's a Rodian in it, which I love that Rodian. I love to play as that Rodian when you're playing like the capture the flag type
Nice.
game in the game because every little 4-minute match is either you're either killing each other or you're playing like capture the flag or you're
Okay.
playing like keep away like with like a
Yeah.
droid
Oh,
or
wow.
something.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that
and
trophy droid is so
yeah,
cute.
oh yeah, trophy. Um, and Yeah, when you're playing the capture the flag one, that Rodian does this amazing thing, um, where she has these she's kind of like a mad scientist, and she has these,
Yeah.
like, potions and elixirs and whatnot. They're like chemicals, um, who she can throw onto the ground, and it creates this, like, huge, like, slime puddle, and if your team walks in it, it heals them, but if the other team walks in it, it, like, hurts them.
Oh, it's
Um
frustrating, especially for me playing tank. So I believe
Oh,
the tanks
yeah.
are the Sentinel, who's the stormtrooper, the ex-stormtrooper,
Mhm.
um, the oh gosh, the Trandoshan, so the
Mhm.
Bosk character, and then there's also the new one, which is the Imperial droid Chaos.
Yeah, which is a K2 droid, and the Wookiee, right? Wouldn't that be a
Oh yeah,
tank as well? Yeah.
The Wookiee is a tank too, yeah.
Yeah.
But tanks, that's the one killer move for us because it causes so much damage, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
gotta say here, can't really move.
It's so fun. Um, yeah, so there's 12 characters in it, and each of them, like, I don't even think this is all of the looks for each of these characters.
No,
It's a lot.
a lot of the
So there's a
looks
wealth.
just yeah, a lot
There's
of
a
the
wealth
looks
of
they just change the color.
Okay.
It's
true.
the same outfit and whatnot, but then there's other ones that it's like the Sith girl. She has a punk rock version, which is very much
Yeah.
like Moshe
Nice.
Eisley, but then she
Yep.
also has Darth Vader references too and Starkiller references.
Mhm.
Wow.
I mean, if we had the time to go through all of them, I you guys should probably bring some other people on to talk about some of the other outfits because I
Uh-huh.
mean, the inspiration for these is amazing, and there's vendors out there like Pilot Bay or oh gosh, Imperial Surplus that sells the armor pieces or can recreate a lot of these soft goods. So, I mean, these are costumes we can actually make to bring to cons and whatnot.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Mhm.
And I love that
Yeah,
it's
there's a
dipping.
Mandalorian in the game.
Nice.
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
there's a Mandalorian in the game, and he's got a very, unique helmet, and I've seen it, people are starting to make that helmet, and it's really cool.
Nice. Well,
I
and I
think
like that.
go for it.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, I like that, like, they aren't necessarily completely OCs, but they're definitely a lesser known character. They're not these big characters that we
Yeah.
see on the big screen, and so it's a little bit
Mhm.
easier to be like, like, kinda sink into the background and kinda, like, do your own thing a little bit with it, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's very fun.
Yeah, I think that it invites play because, like, for instance, like, if
Yeah.
you're, doing Imara Vex, if you just take one of these helmets, let's say, you
Mhm.
can then build your entire full-on your own take on a look
Yeah.
that's not in the game at all, and it could still be a variant of Imara Vex, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And any
Yeah.
of these characters work the same way, which I think is pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
fun, you know?
And again, to your point, Kate, a lot of these outfits and whatnot are inspired by main characters and whatnot, but they
Mhm.
still fall into the background category, whether it's the
Mhm.
coloring or just the styling.
Yeah.
It's something that you can make yourself, and it almost becomes your own OC character.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. It's almost like these characters are Disney bounding as other characters, like,
Yeah.
in the game,
During the
right?
game, it definitely feels
I
like that.
love that. The number
I
of
know.
layers there.
Yeah, I
I
know.
think it fits with the game too, because it's like it's
Yeah,
this arena, it's this like there's fans of these like teams, there's fans of these like competitors. So for them to come out with like a new like full outfit that's
yeah,
kind of like this character from the galaxy, I think it just sort of fits. It makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
in the game.
I love that.
Yeah, and when you're playing, it's fun when you can always choose your character, but you can't really change their outfits while you're in the lobby waiting to start the game,
Okay.
which I would prefer they would change that because you'll get like three of the members that are all Endor troopers, or three of the members that are
Mm.
all Imperial base, and then you have the one random person that just looks like they're in line for KFC. It's like, why can you
Did you
just
miss the
please
memo?
change? Yeah.
Or you've got the outfit on where it's like it's the dragon skin and you're like,
We were all doing Imperial today.
like, "There it is."
On
But
Wednesday,
yeah.
on Wednesdays we wear Imperial.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah.
It has been fun playing with like some of the folks from the chat and whatnot. Like it's I always end up playing worse than what I am, which is that's saying a lot because I'm not very good to begin with. But it's a very fun game. But we should do more of that where we're all like, okay, do we all have this like loadout? Can we all
Yeah.
do this kind of
Yeah.
costume and really go in as a team and lose because of me?
We'll either win as a team or we'll die as a team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is pretty cool. You definitely sold me. I'm it probably won't be anytime soon. I'm a bit swamped for the next few weeks, but I feel like once my downtime season finally comes, this is enticing. So I'll let
Yeah.
you know when I'm on.
yeah, I believe for this next season, not only are we getting a new character, but the map we're going to get a Hoth layout,
Oh,
Oh
which means
yes,
we're
they've
going
been
to get a
showing.
lot of winter wear and a lot of
nice.
snow trooper and both rebel and imperial snow trooper inspired attire, and maybe even
Nice.
a wampa or two,
Oh
which would be
wow.
really fun.
When is the tropical version coming? So that's what I'm always looking for, more Star Wars looks that have less layers, right? I'm
I
always
wonder if
like,
they'll do that. Like
They
if
may do
right.
they'll.
that for next summer because I know it was
Mhm.
just released this past year, so they've been harping on let's get
Okay.
all of like the lore, all of the popular characters out, like they got
Yeah.
Darth Vader out and whatnot. So hopefully, I know some people may not like this thought, but I do hope they kind of go with the trend of, oh, it's a holiday. We're
Yeah.
going to have more holiday inspired
Yeah. It'd be
I'm
kind of
so
attire
fun.
and
down for
Don't they
whatnot.
that.
do that with like Minecraft and stuff like that? Like these games my
Yeah,
kids play that I hear of.
This is the perfect venue for it. I think this
Yeah.
game. This is where you can get a little silly and
I was
play
gonna
because it's
say it
very
seems a little silly.
cartoony. And
It
if
seems
and
like
if
the
it's gonna be
adult
done, do it
version.
here.
Yeah, right. It seems like the adult version of the Lego Star Wars world, right? Like it's
exactly.
yeah, okay. All right.
The adult version of the Lego Star Wars is Lego Star Wars.
Oh no, I mean I'm not knocking. I love Lego Star Wars as well. I'm just saying that like
I'm
it's
actually
that
playing
mentality.
Lego Star Wars when I can't play
Nice.
Outlaws because Outlaws is like an undertaking. Like you have to give that game an hour or two,
Okay.
otherwise you end up not doing anything because
Gotcha.
everything takes like planning and like
Okay.
plotting and
Yeah.
so sometimes it's
We
hard
will
to like
have to do
really
an
get in.
episode on Outlaws as well because
We will. We're
those
gonna
that
have
main
Claudia.
characters look okay. Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
great. Because she and I have talked about it. So
You guys
yeah.
should
She's
probably do
our
an
resident
episode
KVS.
on. Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was just gonna say she's our resident KVS. Like
yeah.
literally, when I'm
Uh,
playing the game, I'm like, "This is Claudia."
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you guys should also do one on Jedi Survivor
Oh,
and
we should.
Last Jedi,
All right, we're gonna have to
Yes.
do all the
that
video
video
games.
game trilogy, and then if you want to do like a deep dive, there's also the Jedi Academy, the old game, and then
Oh,
KOTORs.
Oh
okay.
yeah, that's a
You
yeah,
making notes?
that's an
I made so
undertaking.
many so many beautiful costumes and even more customization in those two games than what we have here for the Star Wars Hunters. But
Yeah.
oh gosh, I do have to say this fandom for making costumes gain inspiration.
Mhm.
There's so many different media that you can get it from, and it's just
Yeah.
it's astounding.
Yeah. This is great because I always see like screenshots on Pinterest and I'm like, where's this from? I don't so this is like this will be fun to dive more into those video games because I am always like, who is this? And I want their pants.
You know, if you're ever working on something, if you're ever like sewing or like building, building out a character or something, or like, when you were doing, I know you have to like, concentrate when you were doing that beautiful shell crown, but
Oh yeah.
you could have like your phone in the background and just watch like gameplay of some of these
That's a great
games,
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody
you
else
know?
told me I should do that. What game was it that I was like, maybe I'll just watch gameplay? And they were like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Witcher actually, because one of my friends here in
Okay.
Seattle is really into Witcher, like, not the TV show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, and I was like, "Okay, good to know." And I was like, "It is something I feel like I would like a lot." And he was like, "Just watch some gameplay." I was like, "Ah, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that way
I'm
it's
not a
low
gamer."
stakes, it's on in the
Mhm.
background,
Mhm.
you're
That's a
working on other stuff
great idea.
anyway, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And you
will
don't have
start yeah.
and you don't have to pay like the what, 60 to 100 bucks for the system and then the additional 60 bucks for the
Yeah.
game itself.
Or
Mhm.
just sitting around learning how to play. Like, I don't do a lot of downtime, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There's not a lot of hours that there's not something I'm, like, needing to be doing. And so that is a good idea because actually, I'm about to make a bunch of cookies for a big party we're having in a couple
Ooh,
days, and I'm like, I made the dough last night. Now I've gotta, like, stamp out the cookies and decorate them. You know what I mean? So that's a great opportunity for, like, something
Yeah.
out in the background.
nice.
So, yeah, it's awesome.
So I think that about wraps it up, right? There's so much
Yeah.
more to this
Yeah,
game. I think,
Oh yeah.
I
Eric,
know.
any final thoughts that you wanna say?
I guess for those listening or watching, if you're even intrigued, again, the game is free. You don't have to pay to get a look at these costumes or anything like that. Most of these screenshots I just pulled from the characters' little bio sheets. You get all the costumes viewable there. You have to buy them if you want to play as is at it. Which I mean, if you want to get like see how the whoosh of the cape goes, then unfortunately you have to pay. But definitely, I encourage anyone who is creating costumes, go out there, look at all the different media, take the inspirations. If you want to go for the exact replica, great. If not, don't feel like you have to. Because, I
Yes.
mean, you're the one creating the costume, you're the one enjoying it. So,
Love it. Eric, where can folks find you?
you can find me at Eich Rau, that is EISCH_RAU on Instagram and also on the Star Wars Hunters. And then there's also the Discord, which is the Denizens of the Rim. This is not in competition at all with Burgundy Squadron or anything like that. This is simply a resource for costume development, questions, and anything of that nature.
Yeah, and I feel like we're all over there.
Yeah, yeah,
That
We
is
we're
true.
all
There's a lot
we
of
all do
overlap.
for sure. Billy, where can folks find you?
I'm at Billy Maddox, as always. Come say hi. I'm over on Instagram. You could probably find me other places. I think I'm Billy Maddox in Hunter's game if you wanna add me as a friend if you're playing.
I think you are too, yeah.
Yeah. I think I did it
Great.
simple so that it was just easy to be
Nice.
found.
So your people can find you.
Yeah. Kate,
I
where
am
can they
Kate
find you?
Ryder. I'm at One Scavenger's Wardrobe on Instagram, and you can find us both at Off the Rack Rebellion. Dots in between the words on Instagram. And thanks to Rami for being our producer and the entire Dad Batch crew for bringing us into the family. And just remember that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away can be right here and right now.